Hey, so we're so grateful we have, I will be the host today. I am piloting, I am praying and um, juggling, but I've got it. It's easy. I'm not doing the harder parts or maybe the more intense parts. So we've got Faith as our speaker today and Ray Davis is our musician. So I'm going to get started. I'll start us off with a prayer. All right. So just placing my hand on my heart. It's taking a moment to be still. So grateful for this coming together today. Grateful for everyone who is here live and for those who are listening later. So grateful to partner up with our higher Holy Spirit self, our I am presence. So grateful that we are gifting ourselves this time to be in spirit, to be inspired, to be uplifted, for spirit to have an opportunity to speak directly to our hearts through Ray's music, through Faith's message, and through the conversations that you'll get to have in your breakouts. So grateful that we are awake and aware to the nourishment of spirit, of being in spirit, because we're aware it is who we truly are. So we declare a willingness and an openness to allow spirit to flow to us, through us. And we're grateful that as we fill up in this time, we can go forward more nourished, more readily available to be truly helpful. And so we're letting this be with deep gratitude and excitement. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Yes, so as you're just joining in again, my name is Angela Potts-Mang'andah. I am the host today. Jennifer is flying back from the West Coast, visiting her family friends. So we're grateful to support her to have that time. I am joined by Faith Rumer is our speaker today, and Ray Davis is our musician. Both regulars here on the show, and so grateful to have them. And so we will call you forth, Ray. If you're ready, I'll introduce you. Okay, great. Thank you. Hi, Ray.
Hey, hi.
I did it all wrong, I guess.
Oh, no, I'm here.
I know, but now my spotlight didn't work. I don't see you. Okay, I don't know why my view is strange. Okay, let me add myself back here. That's never happened to me. Okay, Ray, you look so handsome and ready to go. And so let's just let people know if they haven't had the pleasure of hearing you before. Ray Davis is back with us again. It says he's a singer-songwriter on a mission to introduce the world to high vibe music and arts. High vibe, according to Ray, celebrates the best and highest ideas about life, humanity, and each individual's unique opportunity to contribute something good to the world. Ray's songs speak of personal challenge and transformation. He uses stories and reflection to suggest new ways to deal with old common issues. It's powerful soul medicine for those sick and tired of mediocrity and the status quo. Great. Amazing. So Ray, open us up. Thank you so much.
It is my joy to be here. Good day, everyone. Good morning, good evening, whatever time we're catching you. It is my joy, my joy, my joy. Honor to be here. This first song, there was a time in my growing up when I believed that I believed fully in God, and I was a very spiritual child, but I was taught and believed so that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and by fear, I meant fear for my mortal existence. I don't believe that anymore. And this song reflects the change in perspective. The song is called Over and Over Again. silent. You'd better keep silent. Don't let him hear you speak. Softly, you'd better tread softly, for everyone knows that God only shows favor when you bow and scrape and lay prostrate, wail upon a wall. But something small and still inside said, no, no, not at all. Hush now, listen, you'll hear it over and over again. Hear God say, I love you, over and over again. Head down, you better keep your head down. Don't let them catch you standing tall. 'Cause everybody knows you got to fit in. 'Cause everybody says you got to fit in to get into all the right places with all the right people. So you bow and scrape and lay prostrate and sacrifice your peace. But something small and still inside said, forgive, love, release. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And love them, for they are one with you. Release your burden, release your fear. I am is my name, and I am always here. Oh, I am always here. I'm always here. Hush now, listen, you'll hear it over and over again. Hear God say, I love you. Hush now, listen, you'll hear it over and over again. Hear God say, I love you. Hear it over and over. Hear it over and over and over and over again.
Wow. That was so captivating. Thank you, Ray. Is that your song?
Yes.
Oh my God. That feels like it should be in a blockbuster movie. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Ooh, well, that's a deep start. Can't wait to see how Spirit weaves this into what you're offering, Faith. So we're so happy to welcome you, Faith. Now, Faith is usually with us as a musician, but here she is. But she offers so much more, and I'm so glad that she's sharing that with us today. But here's Faith's bio, and Faith started playing guitar when she was 10 years old and knew from then on she wanted to have a career as a musician. She was scared to sing, but her guitar teacher insisted she sing along to the song she was playing. And she probably ended up playing and singing every Beatles song ever written. Faith studied music at DePaul University and then started her long career as a professional musician. She's been the music director of Agape International Sunday evening service for 15 years. And she also served as the choir director for Reverend Jesse Brune's Inspire Spiritual Community Choir, Inspired Voices. As a member of the Agape International Choir, she shared the stage with legends and greats, including Earth, Wind, and Fire, David Foster, and Carl Anderson. And she has had the pleasure to perform for and share the stage with speaking icons Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, and Michael Beckwith. Faith loves singing so much, she began to help others learn to sing, forming her own coaching studio in LA, the Artist First Voice Studio. She's presently on staff at the AMDA Conservatory in Los Angeles, and she calls her music artistry. She hopes that it inspires and uplifts you. But Faith can also share what other things you share, teach, and offer aside. So take it away, Faith. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Angela. I'm so happy to be here. I'm also a licensed spiritual practitioner at Agape and a licensed and certified meditation teacher and life coach. And so I do a lot of work around helping people to share their message and their voice. And that's what I really want to talk about today. And oh my gosh, Ray, that voice and song and everything that you just shared just moved me. I was in tears listening to it. And it is so clear that our messages are entwined here today. So I am speaking about the voice for God today, the voice for God. And this month, I wanted to remind everyone that this month marks the 3rd anniversary of Sundays with Spirit. I was with Reverend Jennifer last night, had dinner with her and Gary Renard and Cindy Renard and Liz Racy and Paul Racy and about 7 or 8 other people. And it was an amazing time to get together and hug Jennifer and feel this vibration of love that we all have for each other. And she said that she would be here, but she's on a plane right now and she can't be here. So I'm so grateful that we have the staff that we have here today, and that everybody is here, Angela and GJ and everyone else that's supporting us. So thank you. And thank you for showing up today. So when Jennifer asked me to be the speaker today, I knew that I wanted to speak about the power of our voice to create change in our lives and in our world. But I wasn't really sure how my message for you today would unfold. And I knew that what I needed to do was to trust the voice of God. So I've been sitting with this all week and really listening to what God had to say to me about this. And yesterday, as I was finishing my meditation on the daily lesson in A Course in Miracles, the workbook, I happened to look ahead to today's lesson. I just kind of wanted to say, well, what is the lesson for the day that I'm going to speak? And I was so moved when I heard this message, when I saw it, and I wanted to share part of it with you. If you haven't read it for today, it's lesson 106. And it starts out, let me be still and listen to the truth. I am the messenger of God today. My voice is his to give what I receive. Then the lesson goes on to say, hear him today and listen to the word, which lifts the veil that lies upon the earth and wakes all of those who sleep and cannot see. God calls to them through you. He needs your voice to speak to them. For who could reach God's Son except his Father calling through yourself? Hear him today and offer him your voice to speak to all the multitude who wait to hear the word that he will speak today. Wow, is that not moving? And when I called upon God to confirm my message for today, that it is a very clear message for me and for all of us here today, that as students and messengers of the truth, we are literally called upon to be the voice for God, to be the voice for love. Now, Ray and I have talked a lot about this. In fact, we just were talking about this week, how important it is for us to rise up and to share our voice for love, for God, however it comes through us. I have learned that it really just takes willingness, as Jennifer always reminds us, a willingness to first listen to God, to listen to the voice for God, and then to hear it clearly, and then to be willing to share it, even when I don't feel ready, or I feel unworthy, because there are times where I feel that way, and I don't know what's going to happen next. I keep asking myself, how willing am I to be the voice for love, even in the midst of fear? Now, there were so many times that I've been afraid to share my voice. I felt like it had to be perfect. I know a lot of us have a story about a time that we were asked to speak, maybe sing or present something, one of our gifts, our talents, or maybe a program or our coaching, our spiritual counseling. And then we had to get in front of people and we got really self-conscious. I was going to share this thing that happened to me years ago when I auditioned for a national touring company of the musical Cats. But instead, after Ray's message, after Ray's song, I was moved to share something else with you. And years ago, I was having some trouble with my singing voice. It just was getting really stuck, and it really was, I was having trouble reaching notes that I wanted to reach, and my voice felt kind of throaty, and I wasn't really felt uncomfortable with sharing my singing, but I kept doing it. I kept showing up and doing it anyway. I was singing at the service for Sunday nights at Agape, and my friend Donna Gershman was doing I think it was a monthly call that she was recording. It was a 2-hour workshop and call, and that she recorded and that she sent it out to the, throughout the country, I think even out through the world, that recording. And she asked me to be the musical, her musical inspiration for that one day. And I said yes. And I think my voice that day was especially, I was having trouble with it. It was really feeling like I felt almost ashamed to share my voice that day. But I showed up and I sang 3 songs. And I remember afterwards feeling in my heart, oh, I wish it had been better. I wish that I had shown up more perfect, more that my voice had really rose to the occasion it needed to inspire people. And I also knew that she was sharing this recording with people all throughout the country, that what I had done was now on a recorded version of this. And I let it go. I'd really just let it go and knew that God had a plan. And then about a year later, I spoke to someone who came to one of the Agape services, Sunday night services, and she came up to me and she said, "You sang at that workshop that Donna gave, and I heard it. I have a recording of it." She said, "I have listened to your singing over and over and over again. It changed my life. It moved me. It did something. It helped me. Thank you for showing up and doing that." So what I thought was an imperfect performance, a performance that was not up to standard, and that I felt almost embarrassed to share, was really the voice of God singing through me. And that is what we're here to do. I felt like I had to let go of feeling like I could impress somebody, or that I had to impress someone with my singing or my speaking, even today. I learned a lot. I did some deep spiritual work. I studied some more. I practiced, and I've learned to trust my process now, and I've learned to trust my voice. But most importantly, I'm learning to trust that my voice matters, because it is the voice for God. I am here to share my voice for God, for love, in any way I can, through my speaking, which I'm doing today, through my singing, which I did last week at the service, and in all of my relationships, through everyone that I meet. I am here to be that voice for God. So what does the voice for God sound like? Well, certainly it is in the words that we choose. We want to choose words that feel loving, that have that we feel like would embrace people, that would accept people. But, it's really interesting that research shows that the words that we say actually have less impact than how we say them. In fact, research shows that the words only account for 7% of how people perceive us and our message. Isn't that interesting? Only 7%. And that our voice accounts for 38% of the impact that we make on people. And that's the pitch and the tone, the quality, the intonation, the rate, the volume, the rhythm, all of those things that we can change and work with on our voice. But it also means it is 40% of the energy that we infuse into our voice, into our message. Because voice is energy. We are all energy. Everything around us is energy. Love is energy. And our thoughts are energy. All energy just vibrates at a certain frequency. Even the sound that we're making, the sound of my voice, or every sound that we hear, is a vibration of energy. But our sound, our voice, is especially a vibration of energy. And when we speak, when we use our voice, we are creating a vibrational tone. And this tone can be the vibration of love, or it can be the vibration of fear. Certainly when we listened to Ray sing this morning, we heard the vibration of love in his voice. And it was beautiful. And they've even calibrated the frequency of love, what frequency that is. They've calibrated the frequency of fear. It's much lower, a much lower vibration than the frequency of love. And I found that there are so many small practices for using our voice, for God, that can make such a difference in our lives and in how we move in our world. So I keep asking myself, what does the voice of God sound like? Now, a couple of days ago, I was on the phone with a friend, and who I speak to really often. We speak all the time. We're really close. We do music together. We're actually playing music, I think on next weekend. And after I hung up with him, I realized that the voice that I was using was this grumpy voice. I had a really, really long day, and I was coaching and I was working on my business. And I used this voice and our time together to really complain about how hard my day was. And it wasn't really the voice of love that I wanted to use. And when I hung up, I felt really, really disconnected from love. And that's not how I wanted to use my voice. So I called him back and I apologized for using my voice to complain, for being grumpy, and for using, like, I would call it my grouchy voice. And something was really amazing. Something happened in that moment for the both of us. I really forgave myself for misusing my voice, and he forgave me. He said, "That's okay. That's all right. there was a feeling tone there, even without words between us. And even though my apology was being spoken, it was in the tone of my voice that I was speaking to him. I was using the voice for love, for the voice for God. And he responded with a voice for love. It changed everything. I hung up and I felt like, wow, that's what the voice of love feels like. That's that vibration. So what does the voice of God do? Well, a couple of years ago, I was in the most difficult emotional times of my life. I had left a job that was bringing in a pretty steady income for myself, and I was in fear about having everything fall apart. I settled into a meditation process early in the morning, and I would get up around about 5 a.m. when it was really still dark, and I would meditate for about 30 to 45 minutes. And at the end of my meditation, I would pick up my journal that I had laid next to me, and I'd write my insights and my affirmations that would occur to me. I love to journal after the meditating, and this was my practice, but I felt so stuck, and I was like feeling I was in so much pain about what to do. I had so many doubts about what to do with my life and how I was going to support myself. And I had so many creative urges, but I wasn't really acting upon them. And I was really scared. So I began to ask God for help. I asked my I Am Presence for guidance. I said, God, please give me some guidance. I don't know what to do. And something inside me told me to continue my meditation practice. So I kept meditating early in the morning. But after I finished with the meditation, I asked, please speak to me. And I picked up my pen and I sat and I listened. And I wrote exactly what I heard. And this is what I received when I asked, what would love do? It said, love surrenders. Love is courageous. Love is giving. Love is the only power. Love includes all. Love is in the moment and cares not for results. Love does not seek to get. Love is immersed in itself. Love embraces. Love knows no boundaries and is limitless. Love is creative. Love is the acceptance of self. Love is endless joy, for it is without judgment. Love knows boundless energy and yet is eternal peace and stillness. Love sees all as good. Love is wholeness and completeness. Let me see here. I think I'm going down a road here. I want to make sure that I'm in the right spot. Oh, okay. This is great. I have just lost my speech. But there's something here I want to share because it's here, so I know it's supposed to be shared. A couple of days ago, I was on the phone with a friend who I speak to often, and after I hung up, I realized that the voice I was using was my grumpy voice. I had a long day. I was coaching and working on my business, and I used my voice and our time together to complain about how hard my day was. And when I hung up, I felt really disconnected from love, and that's not how I wanted to use my voice. So I called him back and I apologized for using my voice to complain, for being grumpy, and for using my grouchy voice. And something happened in that moment for both of us. I forgave myself for using my voice, misusing it, and he forgave me. There was a feeling tone there without words. Even though my apology was being spoken, it was the tone of my voice I was using. It was the voice for love, the voice for God, and he responded with the voice for love. And so that is what the voice of love does. A couple of years ago, I was in one of the most difficult emotional times of my life. I had left a job that was bringing in a pretty steady income. And I was in fear of having everything fall apart. So I settled into my meditation process early in the morning, and I would get up around 5 a.m. when it was still dark, and I would meditate for 30 to 45 minutes. And at the end of my meditation, I would pick up my journal that I had laid next to me, and I'd write my insights and my affirmations that would occur to me. I love to journal after meditating, and this was my practice, but I felt so stuck and in so much pain. I had so many doubts about what to do with my life and how I was going to support myself. So I was scared. I began to ask God for help. God, please give me some guidance. I didn't know what to do, and something inside me told me to continue my meditation practice. So I kept meditating early in the morning. And after I finished with the meditation, I asked, please speak to me. And I picked up my pen and I sat and I listened and I wrote exactly what I heard. And this is what I received. What would love do? Love surrenders. Love is courageous. Love is giving. Love is the only power. Love includes all. Love is in the moment and cares not for results. Love does not seek to get. Love is immersed in itself. Love embraces. Love knows no boundaries and is limitless. Love is creative. Love is the acceptance of self. Love is endless joy, for it is without judgment. Love knows no boundaries. Love knows boundless energy and yet is eternal peace and stillness. Love sees all good. Love is wholeness and completeness. I meet so many people I am in another speech right now. This is so funny, but I'm going to continue because this is what's going on, listening to the voice of God. I meet so many people who struggle with sharing their voice. I mean, really sharing what's inside them, their message of truth, their passion, their gifts, their talents, the book they want to write, the song they want to sing, or the coaching program or the business they want to create, and most of all, sharing the voice for love. Again, in the section in the course, The Voice for God, we are reminded that we are called to be the voice for God, right? The voice for God. So what does that mean? It means being courageous. It means that we can accomplish what we can accomplish together has no limits, because the call for God is the call to the unlimited. We are a child of God. My message is for you to hear and to give away as you and answer the Holy Spirit within you. That's from the course. And so I have said yes to sharing my voice for God whenever I was called on to do so. The classic movie, The 10 Commandments, was aired over Easter. And there is a powerful moment when Moses, who was suffering setbacks in the early days of trying to get Pharaoh to release the Hebrews, prays to God, saying, Lord, forgive me for my weak use of thy great power. When we don't think that our voice matters, we don't tell people how we truly feel or how we think. We're not working from a space of love. We don't share our dreams. We don't speak up, and we're not showing up as who we are. We are not showing up as the creative, loving beings that we truly are. We have a voice, and it is a voice for God. and we are here to use it. And that means showing up whenever we are called, even though we don't know the words to say. Even this morning, where I feel like I'm lost between two different talks, that I started out in one talk and I'm in another talk now, it still means that we are here to be the voice for God, to truly express love with everyone that we meet, that there is no holding back, that we have the power within us to change our lives and everyone we meet by being willing to be that voice for God. Let me check in. So today, I am asked to show up, to be that willing channel, to be the voice for God, and to listen to what God has to say, to be willing to be that vibration for love, for truth, for the joy that is all around us, to know as I'm willing to speak up and to show up for God, that there is no limit to how God can move through me, to speak through me, to love through me. We are a vibration of love. We are a vibration of peace. It is who we are deep in our core. There is nothing that can change that. It is only our fear of our greatness sometimes, of who we truly are, that covers that up. But we are here to love each other, to be that place of love, to speak love, to be the truth, to show up no matter what, in every aspect of our lives, in every relationship that we have. So I'm willing to trust that this day, even though this speech got a little bit moving around, because I think I was in one speech and then in another speech, my notes got a little confused, that I was here to show up and be the vibration of love, to be the vibration of joy, to let my voice speak that word, to know that there is nothing that can stop the love of God, the vibration of truth, to be heard in this world. We may be confused at times. I get confused. I listen to the voice of fear. And when I let that go and I sit into the stillness and the love that is God, there is nothing that can stop this love from showing up as truth in my life, and for me to be that vibration of love in the world. So I am going to close out my talk today with something that I wanted to share with you, that we're here to be this vibration of love. I think it might be here. Shantagaram Vajagashayanam Padmanambam Sorisham Shantagaram Vajagashayanam Padmanambam Sorisham Vishwagadam Gadana Sadrasham Shantagadam Vajagashayanam Padmanambam Soresham. Alleluia. Alleluia. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Wow. Thank you. I'm so grateful to share a meditation on your beautiful sharing, your beautiful showing up. And you've mesmerized me there at the end. And so I'll do my best. Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much. Hey, let's go into our heart where Faith brought us. If you'd like to place your hand on your heart and feeling into the vibration that we are love here in this moment. So grateful to send our loving gratitude to Faith for sharing so fully, for being so willing to be here for us. So grateful that we had this opportunity to be love in the moment, knowing that love is patient and kind, knowing that love has no expectations, no needs, just to hold space. So grateful for Faith sharing all from her own personal experiences, and for her to be in her humanness so that we could be loving. That's our function. So grateful for the reminder of our function to be aligned with the message of God. As I listened to Faith, I thought of the times where I'm unloving. I have a hard time being loving. Somehow other words come out of my mouth, other vibrations come out of my body. I'm thinking of being with my child when I choose to be angry or mean because I'm triggered and I don't know the right words to use, it seems. And I'm so grateful for this talk. As Faith demonstrated that we hear the voice for God when we ask, when we're willing, when we're quiet. And so as emotion comes up, as we become triggered, as we lose our alignment with love, that we could lovingly hold ourselves and check in like Faith showed us. Let's check in. Let's come to center. We've lost our center, but we can find it if we're willing, if we ask. And these are the basic spiritual practices, but it always benefits revisiting this because our willingness is growing. Our willingness in this moment may be more sincere than it has been. So we're grateful to remember that Spirit will guide us to the loving words if we feel on our own, we've lost our way. We're grateful for Faith's beautiful sharing of what came to her in meditation of what love is. And we're grateful in this moment to remember that's who we are. Our true nature is courageous, it's patient, it's kind. It has infinite patience. It has no agenda, just to be the function of love that we truly are. We're so grateful for Faith all the time she has shared her voice with us in this arena and in this program, on these services, for how powerful it is. I'm so grateful to say I've had a chance to work with Faith and to know how natural it comes to her. And that what her function in this world, what she's choosing, is to help people to know their power through their voice. So we thank her for all the service she's providing. We take a moment, if there's anything we can offer up to Spirit in this moment, any block to using our voice, trusting it, knowing it's worthy. Or we just let Spirit take any block for us. Just that we make a declaration, a willingness to be the voice for God. To know that our mind and our hearts are the mind and hearts of God. So all that we choose to express has the power of God behind it. And we're grateful for the reminder that we can use forgiveness if we forget. And anytime we make a mistake, it's an opportunity for more love to be expressed on the planet. So we're grateful to be in this deep place of remembrance. Thank you so much, Faith. And we will invite Ray to come and share his next musical piece with us when you're ready, Ray.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I just want to first of all thank my dear beloved sister Faith for that wonderful talk and wonderful, powerful demonstration. That was principle in action, y'all. And I'm actually going to follow suit. I had another song planned, but Spirit came through and said, oh, let's work with this instead. So this is a song of transformation. A story about a cat who underestimated what the gifts were that the living one had given him. And said, I started to get an idea about something else. This is called The Average Man. He always thought he was an average man, average face and average hands, average feet set square on the middle tier. Satisfied with his mild success, as much as any average man could expect, until the day he was beset by his greatest fear. It all started with a feeling so intense that time and space stood still. He said, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. For the average man. All his life he said he'd find the nerve to stretch and reach beyond the bell curve, but never did for fear of drawing back an empty hand. He said, what's an average man to do? So little time and all this thing to think through. Maybe I should just stick to what I understand. But he couldn't shake that feeling. A feeling so immense it filled the whole blue sky. He said, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. Yeah, yeah, for the average man. Oh, but he couldn't shake that feeling. A feeling so intense it about to blow his mind. He said, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And the miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. Yeah, yeah, for the average man. It's got me singing na 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 na. You can help me sing na 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 na. Na 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 na. Come on, help me sing na 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 na.
Okay, that was so fun. Thank you so much. Wow, you can take us anywhere. Thank you so much. Feels like Spirit was like, let's get him laughing. Let's not forget to laugh. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, amazing. So we will now move into the part of our service where you have the opportunity to go into a breakout. And we just ask that in the breakout, you share the time for anyone who would like to share, and that you listen with an open heart, open mind. We refrain from advice giving, just a chance for us to share what came up for you throughout this service, what's speaking on your heart right now. And so I am going to go ahead and open the rooms and send you guys in there. Okay. All right, great. So that's underway. Okay, I think we're good. All right, thank you. Well, it's the three of us. Here we are. Yay. Yeah, so who would like to start? Faith, you want to start?
I'll start actually, because this is very interesting. I had an interesting course through my talk today, and it was not usually what happens to me. I'm usually very, very centered and working through it, and just showing up and like being willing, no matter what was happening, to show up and to allow Spirit to speak, even though it did not feel what I would say perfect. I got lost in some places I was in, and interestingly enough, I looked at what my notes were, and I wasn't really lost. I just felt lost. And so how often that sometimes happens to, I know it happens to me, I think it happens to all of us. We can be, on our spiritual path, and then we sort of get lost. We're not sure where we're going. And that doesn't mean that we're not going, we're not moving on our spiritual path.
Mm.
That the talk did not feel perfect to me today, but that I was willing to show up regardless and get still and then let Spirit speak to me and speak through me, to speak the words of love, to speak the words of truth, to know that it doesn't have to be what I think has to be perfect every single moment.
Exactly. Thank you. And for me, it's like, I remember occasions, like you brought it back to me, where I can relate to you, because I can relate to being on the spot and in my mind being a little disconnected from, oh dear. And then you've got the people looking at you sort of, and you've got the feeling of like, and then being willing, because one of the things that happened in your speech is you circled back to what came to you in the journaling from the meditation, which what you spoke about, what came through about what love is, was so powerful. I was thinking, oh, I want her to say that again. Literally, because it was very powerful. You'd have to say it slowly for people to digest, even for them to hear it again, because I almost feel like that's what we're longing to hear again and again and again and again and again, who we really are and what we really are, because it resonates and it's so comforting. So I thought that was interesting to just share with you, because you may not realize that you came back to that moment and I was like, yes, she's going to say it again.
I wasn't at that point.
That's okay.
I was.
You might have been abducted, and then somebody actually was like, oh, we're just going to take you back here. And you were like, okay, we're going back. Where are we going?
Yep.
Well, great. I was going to go linear. I kind of normally do a linear speech, but okay. And for me, the thing too is that we'd walk away from any experience like that with exactly the grace that you're demonstrating. And that's another thing, you're demonstrating this grace, which is healing. Because for me, whenever I've doubted myself or questioned myself, but then I've let it go and not gone there, has been so huge for me that I would never go there. That it might present itself to me to go there and I would refuse to go there. I'd be like, that's a closed pathway. I don't go down the doubting myself road, And so it's affirming to me that we don't need it to be linear and perfect and seamless, but to be authentic and real and healing. So that's what I'm taking away.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's really being willing to be led. Willing to be led. And interestingly enough, when I started and I looked at my notes, I kept thinking, this is an old speech I gave, but it's not. It's actually the speech that was for today, but it's something that it's a truth that I know. And I think that's what I kept coming back to, is like, oh, I have spoken about this before. Yes, because truth, we will speak about truth over and over and over again, over and over and over. That's Ray's song.
You mind if I jump in?
Please.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Angela. Faith, when you went back to that, talking about the conversation, and then about what came through in your meditation, that was important to me, because I really did want to hear it a second time. I felt like I needed it, and in the way that you did it, it had such impact. And look, I mean, you're a music performer, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. How many times I've been on stage or singing, either myself or with a group, and things seem to fall off the rails or go off the rails, and it turns out being something highly impactful. I sang oh man, it was probably 2013, for a Center for Spiritual Living conference, and they were holding it in San Diego. I've since been part of the music team for these conferences,
Mm.
a number of times, but this was the first time I was there. The first time working with this group of people. First time really working outside of agape, really. And it was a wonderful experience. Singing all week long for various meetings, during the week, during each day. And then it will culminate on a Thursday evening, the last program on Thursday evening, big music evening. So every person on the team was featured in a solo, and they had asked me to sing the song "If You're Out There," that was written and sung by oh goodness, what is the man's name? It'll come to me. If You're Out There, and I was losing my voice.
Oh.
Started losing my voice 2 days prior. So by the time I got to Thursday, it was gone. And I decided to just go out and do what I could do and let Spirit support and bring through whatever was necessary. And so I avoided speaking a lot. I did some things and, it was smart to do, a vocalist would do. I got out and I started singing, and in my mind, it wasn't going that well. But I got so many people. There were so many people coming to me afterwards saying how impactful that particular song, amongst everything else that I'd sung that week, that song, that particular performance was so impactful to them. John Legend is his name, John Legend. So it's just being willing to show up, to be authentic, and to be real, not act like everything is perfect when in fact things feel a little bit in disarray. So this is what's going on. There's a little bit of a mess here. Because the constancy in our experience as spiritual beings in a human incarnation, that which is constant is not the phenomena that surrounds us. The phenomena expressing through us. It has nothing to do with that. Everything in form changes. But the constancy, the consistency is the Spirit of the living one being me, being you, being every person. And so it is my duty to show up to deliver that. And that's what I'm taking away from your talk, especially being the voice of God in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, regardless, not just regardless of, but including all that's going on in my life, because it's all holy.
It is. Yeah, we are here to be a voice for God, and that means everything that we're going through.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like that song. I mean, the song that came through to sing, I hadn't rehearsed it or anything. It just said, do that one instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was more appropriate to what was going on in retrospect.
Yes.
I may never know exactly what impact that song had, but I'm trusting in the living one to, by showing up and doing that which I've been led to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And Faith, when you started, you talked about how you're learning to trust your own process. You're learning to trust how things are brought to you, and even for me, I've shared this before, but when you were in your speech, I was deeply paying close attention. And then all of a sudden, because I feel a little slow today. I don't know. I was just like, we're going to just go with it. But then it was like, oh, you're doing a meditation after this. I was like, oh, yeah, well, I'm just going to trust whatever it comes to me, And so, but that has taken some time. But just in general, that we would trust our own processes, the timing for ourselves, how we work, to me, it's such a major, huge takeaway. Again, I guess it's because we wouldn't doubt ourselves. We wouldn't doubt what came through. We would trust, because here we are and here's what's coming. And it's just a huge relief. It's liberation when you can trust your process and trust what's coming through and share it willingly.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's that idea of what perfection is, or, that idea. I have to trust that what I shared was they needed to be shared. And that
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a feeling that, in the work that you do with others, it's all ends up being used. That's the other thing that I don't always foresee is, oh, why am I going through this? I would rather not. And then sometime later it becomes, either like you guys are sharing, it becomes an impactful moment that you've helped someone through the way you showed up. But also in my counseling, it's been, wow, I went through that. I wouldn't wish to do it again, or I wouldn't have picked it if I got to pick everything. But now it feels like miraculous to be able to stand in a place of real, true compassion and be able to make an offering to someone else based on my experience. So
yeah, standing in that place of compassion for ourselves and for everyone around us.
yeah,
That is really our charge here.
yeah. And thank you, because I kind of noted, I made a note because you asked the question, how willing do I feel to be the voice for love in the face of fear? And I think I could ask myself that daily. I don't know how to use that question because something very provoking about that, because I think about how can I prepare myself to go out in the day? Because with a child, I lose, like, I'll start to, if I was a superpower or some kind of hero and I could check in on my tank of like life force energy or patience, like, where's my tank? I know where it is sort of energetically, but I don't know, that question, it's so inspiring to me, like, because I can stay a little bit willing. If I'm still a little bit willing and open, I can be carried through those moments where my physical body, my patience, things are lower. My reserve tanks are emptier. Like when I end up being tempted to just be reactive. So thank you for that question. I have noted it.
Mhm.
I'm going to work with it.
Yeah. How willing are we to show up? Like today, showing up, getting sort of in the middle of my talk, I was like, where am I going with this? I wasn't quite sure. And then to sit there and in the midst of the whole thing, to be guided, to let go, to go back to find something that really was going to be impactful for myself and for everyone else, whatever it was that I was being instructed to speak on. And I got to tell you that I've just looked back on my talk and it was all laid out. Life like us, we lay it all out, how it's supposed to be. And yet we're led in different ways to see that there's perfection in the imperfection, if that makes sense.
Well, I would say there is absolute perfection in the imperfection. From this point of view, a little bit of learning for me this week was to notice that conditions and circumstances really don't change because I'm feeling more or less enlightened. What changes is my perception.
Mm.
And everything being an expression of this one life must, in its essence, be perfect. So I'm actually bouncing back and forth, perhaps, between impressions or ideas of what's going on. So if I'd simply bring my idea of what's going on into alignment with the idea that's of spirit, then I can't help but see everything, the perfection of everything, even if it seems unpleasant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a perception.
it is. Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely.
It really is. What's going on? Breakout rooms?
Coming back, I think.
Are we coming out back?
They'll be coming back in just seconds, I think. Oh, yeah, 10 seconds.
Hmm.
Okay. Justine missed the music. She's fell asleep again. You're going to be disappointed. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Right. So smiley faces from the breakouts. Okay. Helpful discussions. Great. If anybody feels inspired to make a declaration in the chat, something you're taking with you through the week for the rest of your life, for the moment, feel free to share in the chat with us. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for being here and for staying on. You are the chosen ones. You stay together. So at this time, we'll do a few announcements and we'll let Faith and Ray also share their announcements with us. I am going to share from Power of Love Ministry that tomorrow we kick off the Prayer Power series. And so Prayer Power, some people, I've been in the ministry for a while now, more than a decade. And I've heard many, many people say this is where Jennifer is like in her element when she teaches about prayer. And people come back and retake it because it just seems like it's Jennifer's sweet spot. I mean, she's taught us all so many things, and a variety of us will quote her for a while, but this is where it feels like she wishes these classes were probably 5 hours long. So I'm going to put the link in the chat for our prayer power classes. So they will start tomorrow, and they will be it's a series of several classes. So click the link for more information. Also just sharing that you can support the Sundays with Spirit service by making a donation of your choice. And this will help us to support more services going forward. And we tithe the speaker and the musician. And I'm having an issue grabbing this link, but see, there's perfection in the imperfection. We are going with it all. There we go. And then if you'd like to donate through signing up for the daily text messages, that's one way. And you'll get a ACIM text or a quote from Jennifer's blog. So there's where you can sign up for our text messages. And so I will bring you on, Faith, if you have any announcements you'd like to share with our group.
Okay, so thank you all. I have a class coming up that is about working through the our ability to get in touch with our emotional life as an actor or performer. And it's about being able to really let that flow, to not get in our head and get out and get into our body and be able to let that flow. And so if you're interested in that, is being able to contact me. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat here, faith@raisingyourimpak.com. You can go ahead and contact me there. And we'll be using a lot of the spiritual ideas that we have to get into the body, to get out of our head, to let to use our chakras. We're going to be using our chakras, all of that energy, to move through all of the chakras to unfold our energy as an actor or as a musician, as a singer, anything that you're working on as a creative being. It's very powerful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can't wait. Again, I got a chance to work with Faith, and it felt like I was working with a genius, but a very sweet genius, very kind. Thank you, Faith. Thank you for what you're offering. And yes, and then I was reminded by GJ that I forgot to mention, we have a free forgiveness letter writing workshop coming up on Saturday, the 22nd. And so click the link. That again, it's a free workshop. You get to actually write a forgiveness letter in the workshop. So for those who have ever resisted the process or are unsure of the process, it's kind of a hand-holding step-by-step walkthrough of the forgiveness letter process. So very cool, Jennifer, offering them free. Like, we're going to be increasing the amount of times we're going to offer those monthly. So it's very exciting. Thank you. And then Ray will bring you on for your announcements, and then you can bring us to your last piece.
Yay. Okay. So I just dropped something in the chat. If you have not already done so, please do connect with me on Facebook. The page is Ray Davis Ray Davis High Vibe Records. Ray Davis Music High Vibe Records. I'm going to change that. Ray Davis Music High Vibe Records. And the reason is because in May, we're going to be announcing something kind of big, kind of special, kind of lovely, and you want to be aware of that. So the information is going to come through Facebook, so do connect with me there. And yeah, I do have one more song. One more song. Yeah, I get to do this. This is a song that goes out to this is my retelling or my reflections on Yeshua's teachings around the called the Beatitudes. And it goes to all of us who are showing up as the voice, as the face, as the hands of the living one. This is called Blessed. If you are one being light in the darkness, then the rising sun will call you blessed. If you are one who in darkness will nurture the light, then the setting moon will know your name. Your name is blessed, for you are tested, for you are rebuked and you are scorned. Though they revile you, they can't defile you, for all receive their just reward, just reward. If you are one being light in the darkness, then the blazing sun will call you blessed. If you are one who in darkness reveals the light, then the glowing moon will speak your name. If some accuse you, if they abuse you, it's just that they don't know what they are. They have rejected what you have accepted. They fear the light and you shine like a star. Blessed is your name, even as they set their evil eye upon you. Oh yeah. So rejoice again, I say rejoice, as you make a choice and raise your voice. Food for the hungry, shelter for the homeless, water for the thirsty, support for the oppressed. See, you are the blessing when they pray to be blessed. There's no need to fight when you are the light. Just shine, shine, shine. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. You can dance and place a little bit if you want to. It's all right. Yeah, 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 yeah. You are the one, you're the promise of light in the darkness, and the setting sun, he calls you blessed. Oh, lovely one, from the darkness shine, shine your light. For the rising moon, she sings your name. Your name is blessed, blessed. La, 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 la. Your name is blessed. Oh, blessed, yes. La, 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 la.
Beautiful. Wow. How uplifting. Thank you, Ray. So we can find your music like through your Facebook pages. Is that how what people can?
There are. I'm about to release some new material over the next few months that will
Okay.
come through Facebook, that will come through Google, YouTube, and etc. But you want to be on the Facebook page for different kind of announcement. I can't tell you yet.
That's okay. Oh, I was tricking. I was trying to see if I could trick you. No, I wasn't, to drop it. But yes, okay, let's follow along so we can be there for the launch.
What's that?
That's sweet Justine.
Hi, Justine. Okay,
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Okay, well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, GJ, behind the scenes. But really, thank you for being the audience. If we didn't have you, we don't have a show. So you're the main gig here. So thank you for really taking this time out. There's so many things we can be doing instead of being here, and you're here, which is huge. So I am going to place my hand on my heart, and I am going to express my gratitude for the beauty, the joy, the inspiration that was shared with us here today. That was our time together. Just so grateful for Jennifer. We're blessing her travels. Grateful that she holds this container everywhere she goes. She's holding this container for all of our growth and awakening, that we would be able to support each other on this journey, which is such an adventure of all kinds. And so we're grateful that in this time today, we've been reminded to show up for love, and to let the voice for God really be our voice, and to be open to it. So we thank you, Faith, for all that you shared, and for the heart that was in your message. And Ray, thank you for sharing, just for taking us to deep places in our heart, and for making us laugh and smile and dance. So we're blessed to have had this time together. We go forward, clarifying our week. How can we be this voice for love, this voice for God everywhere we go? So blessed, so grateful. We're letting it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Ray, if you could put the name of your first song in the chat, we have a request. But thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful week. Bye for now. Oh, is he gone? Oh, okay. Maybe he's still here. I'm not sure.
I got it.
Okay. Bye for now.